Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
我们的节目提供多种语言，请看 suprememastertv.com/schedule。
They can be up to 1.7 meters tall, measured from the shoulder. Some of the males weigh close to a metric ton. That includes their heavy horns, which typically curve down before turning up and inward. Adults are primarily dark gray or black, although their appearance often depends on what kind of mud they have been wallowing in. The wondrous world of African Cape buffalo people. Please continue watching to learn about the bulk grazers of Africa's southern savannas.
Vegan, love incarnate.
Kwaziwai, fortunate viewers, that is how they say greetings in Shona, one of the most common official languages in the Republic of Zimbabwe. I'm Rukondo, a vegan weightlifter from the African Cape Buffalo Kingdom. The two-legged and four-legged residents of this magnificent land pray for you to be blessed with the light of divine wisdom. Welcome to our show titled The Wondrous World of African Cape Buffalo People. Today, I will introduce you to my subspecies that inhabit the grassy plains south of the Congo River Basin. Across our range, we display variety in terms of size, coloring, and shape of our horns. We can be up to 1.7 meters tall, measured from the shoulder. Some of our males weigh close to a metric ton. That includes their heavy horns, which typically curve down before turning up and inward. Adults are primarily dark gray or black, although our appearance often depends on what kind of mud we have been wallowing in. However, one thing we all have in common is that we are grazers. We feed on grass and lots of it. In Africa, there is one species of buffalo people and it is known to zoologists as Sincerus scapha. The first word, Sincerus, translates as together horns. That is indeed the distinguishing feature of adult males. Instead of just two impressive projections on either side of our head, we have a continuous piece of bone on top that forms a protective shield called a boss. But it takes 7 or more years to develop fully, so it's a significant milestone for men in our society. The species has 4 subgroups. My family and relatives who inhabit the continent's southern savannas belong to Sincerus scapha. I have no idea why the researchers responsible for naming us were not more creative. For example, Sincerus scapha nanus are the buffalo folk living in the forests of Central Africa. Over in West Africa, we have Sincerus scapha brachycerus, while the scientific name of the group that lives in East Africa is too hard for me to pronounce. Suffice it to say that there are also free-spirited herbivores who refuse to be domesticated. Let me provide you with a more detailed description of Cape Buffalo people. A full-grown male called a bull is generally around 150 centimeters tall at the shoulder, has short, stocky legs, and can weigh between 425 and 900 kilograms. That means he may be as heavy as a medium-sized cow. Our adult females, called cows, are normally smaller, but we are all massive and carry our head low relative to our back. Our front hooves are wider than the rear to support the extra weight. Beneath our horns, you will find a rather stern-looking face softened by a pair of floppy ears. It should not come as a surprise that we spend most of our time sustaining our large bodies. The main element of our diet is coarse grass, for which we are equipped with a wide mouth, extra incisor teeth, and a skillful tongue. We are so efficient at ingesting it that we are known as bulk grazers. For as many as 18 hours a day, we are either taking in grass or chewing partly digested food returned from our first stomach so that we can extract more nutrients from it. We also drink copious amounts of water, up to 35 liters at a time. That is why we make sure a dependable source is never more than a day away. Most Cape Buffalo people choose to live in a large herd for safety reasons, and in that setting, we are very friendly with each other. Females and their offspring comprise the majority, while males tend to form two different kinds of bachelor groups. The juniors from 4 to 7 years old revel in their vibrancy, as the seniors of 12 summers or more enjoy recalling their glory days. The herd stays together while grazing, and toddlers are kept in the center. The genders have separate hierarchies, with elders receiving their due respect. Members of the same subgroup keep close together and will even rest on each other. Among the males, the one with the most substantial horns is usually acknowledged to be the leader, but occasionally, he is challenged to a sparring match by another bull person, hoping to prove his supremacy. Then they lower their heads, lock horns, and twist from side to side. Guys like me at lower layers in the hierarchy often do the same thing, but mostly we spar just for fun. Ultimately, dominance is a function of age, and the elders past their prime wind up leaving the cow herd once unable to compete successfully. If you ever have the opportunity to visit our part of the world and spend some time with us, you will hear how we communicate with each other. As African Buffalo people, our vocalizations are generally low-pitched and repeated at various intervals depending on the message we want to convey. The directives to get up and move, change direction, and the announcement that the herd is approaching water all sound different, although it may not be easy for you to tell the difference. If a mama loses track of her little one, she clucks loudly, and when infants feel anxious for any reason, they produce a higher frequency version of the same call. I think you will be amused by the sounds we make as a group while we are eating. It is a hubbub of pleasurable honks, grunts, and bellows. When the rains come, the wet season begins, and youthful bachelors are inspired to rejoin the main herd and find a mate. If they become fathers, they extend their stay to provide security. Pregnancies last about 11 months, and moms usually give birth to a single offspring. Newborns will stand up within the first 15 minutes, but it takes time for them to gain coordination and the confidence in running. They are nourished by their mothers and depend on them entirely for at least a year. Young males eventually leave for a bachelor group, whereas females ordinarily stay with the herd. Kindly allow me to share some more interesting information as they occur to me. When we cannot find enough grass to eat, we may switch to woody vegetation. As a matter of fact, we prefer habitats that include thickets or woodlands because they provide some relief from the sun and protection from troublemakers. Keeping cool is an ongoing issue for us. That is why we tend to feed at night and in the early morning. During the day, you will often find us wallowing in water or resting in the shade. Our natural lifespan ranges from 15 to 25 years. They say we can run almost 60 kilometers per hour, but I have no idea how someone measured our speed. Let us shift gears now and talk about conservation. Whatever type of grassland we are in, from savanna to swamp and from floodplain to forest, our feeding style always clears a path for other animal people who eat closer to the ground and are more selective. It is one of the ways we contribute to the ecological environment. Such being the case, the arrival of non-native species such as cattle and goats who consume grass has never bothered us much. Instead, we are more concerned about the foreign diseases newcomers may be carrying. In the 1890s, a viral epidemic spread rapidly throughout the mainland, killing almost 90% of the buffalo people and many antelope folk as well. It took decades for our populations to recover, and we are still vulnerable to periodic outbreaks. Round pests, foot and mouth disease, and bovine tuberculosis can wreak havoc on our herds, so we are deeply grateful to the national parks of Africa that are taking steps to protect us. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, assessed our species in 2018 and found our numbers were decreasing. Sadly, the research team reported that the causes were mostly related to human activity. The list included climate change, severe weather, civil unrest, military exercises, and war. Sincere Scoffer, to which I belong, is categorized as near threatened, and that prompts me to beg all people, please remember you are only guests here, temporary visitors to this planet. What will your legacy be? If you forsake your violent ways now, you can still leave your next generation the message of reverence, gratitude, and love for everything created by the divine.
The kingdom of God is founded upon equity and justice, and also upon mercy, compassion, and kindness to every living soul. The writings of Abdu'l-Baha, Vegetarian, Baha'i Faith.
Congenial viewers, it was a pleasure having you join us for today's show. Coming up next is Supreme Master Ching Hai's plea for humans to awaken and know right from wrong. Part 5 of 7 on Between Master and Disciples. May each passing moment be another reason for you to say thank you to God.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/AW.